Hello, and welcome to week 4 of Social Media Saturday, brought to you by Get Crystalized Agency, where we make marketing simple for you. So, as you know, we have been talking about some foundational concepts to help you as an entrepreneur to navigate the very busy, very confusing um, highway that is the marketing superhighway. And the goal was really to kind of give you a framework so you can be a savvy marketing consumer and just a general awareness about some of the terms and things so that you have kind of help in that area. So that's what we've been doing with this series. This is week 4. This is the last of this 4-part series. And today we're going to be talking about metrics. Now, even though this is the last day for this series, it is not the last day for Social Media Saturday. Social Media Saturday will continue every Saturday at noon East in the Eastern Time Zone with different topics depending on the feedback that I receive from you, the things that I'm curious about, and things that I think will help you to navigate the kind of the marketing superhighway and just stay savvy there. So here we are today. We have a lot of content for today. I'm going to be going probably fairly quickly, but I want to make sure that you can leave this session with a good foundation of some metrics that you can use to know if all of the activity and the investment that you're making into marketing is really being beneficial for you and your business. So, with that, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Okay, so we're not going to go to into a lot of detail on some of these slides. We've been through these before. So of course, welcome back. And I think I covered most of this. Again, we're looking at the 300,000 foot view level as it relates to marketing to help you with your business. A lot of times in marketing, you can't see the forest for the trees. And so once you begin to learn and understand the terminology, the reason why you do certain things, it'll just help you to be much more savvy in your business. The questions that we have been seeking to answer in this series, I think we've touched on pretty much most of them. Now we did run out of time last week with the examples, but no, not to worry. We will cover many examples as we progress through Social Media Saturday. If there's a specific business model that you'd like to talk about in terms of how to go offline to online or just tips and tricks on social media, then definitely reach out to me, message me, leave a comment, and I'll add it to the list and we'll talk about it. Okay. So, we talked about the difference between branding and marketing. We talked about the difference between marketing strategy and a marketing plan. One being very strategic in the sense of how you're going to reach and who is your target audience and where are they hanging out. And then the marketing plan being more execution focused on now that you know the who and the what, the plan is the how. And then we talked about going from offline to online. We talked about the type of posts that you need to make with our examples. And today we're going to cover the last two items that were kind of on our to-do list for this series, and that is how do I measure effectiveness and actually how do which platform do we use? We covered that with the marketing strategy, so that's out of order. So again, we this will be real quick. We're on week 4. Oops, we're on week 4. And we're actually, there's some different metrics we're going to cover today. So I'm going to skip right past this slide because that slide, I just have additional information. And so now we're going to give you to the meat and prioritize some of those metrics. So, but before we go on, let's talk about what are marketing metrics. Okay. So I'm just going to read directly from my slide. Marketing metrics are what marketers use to monitor, record, and measure progress over time. The metrics themselves are varied and can change from platform to platform. So you're going to have different metrics maybe on Facebook than you do on Instagram. Marketers need to hone in on their goals and choose the metrics that will track success and failure. So whether you're doing the marketing in-house yourself or you're looking to hire someone to do marketing for you, you want to identify the metrics that make sense for you so you can measure whether or not you're actually getting the progress that you want. And although there are many working metrics that you can keep track of, the ones that you need to keep track of, and they may be your consultant may throw out a ton of different ones, but at the end of the day, the metrics that matter are the ones that matter to you for the campaign that you're running, or the thing that you're doing to generate leads. Okay, so it's not like one size fits all. You have to do a certain way. It's you need to do what works for your business. And I love these two quotes I ran across. The first one, actually, the one that you'll hear the most is this Peter Drucker quote that says, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. It's a big, Peter Drucker, you're probably familiar with him if you're in business, the big marketing business, I mean, not marketing, but a business management guru. And it's so true. But actually, he wasn't the first one to come up with that. It was Sir William Lord. Oh, wait, I can't read that. Calvin, Lord Calvin, Lord Calvin, who said, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Right. So many times, you're an entrepreneur, you're in business, you really didn't get into business to measure. The only thing you wanted to measure was the cash flow coming in, right? You weren't thinking about measuring metrics. You were just thinking, I've got this great product, I've got this great service, I'm going to get it out to people and I'm going to make money. Right. So money was the only metrics that you were probably thinking about when you started your business, whether it's an online business or an offline business. But the reality is that even though we know that money is the end game, there's a process and there's a way that we need to go about things, and think of your metrics as kind of checkpoints along the road to your success. So when you put these metrics in place, and they can act directionally as guides to help you to know what's working, what's not working. So the thing that I see a lot is I see a lot of business owners, or a lot of entrepreneurs who will, you'll hire someone to do a website for you, or you'll hire someone to do, maybe you're doing an email campaign in house. And the only metric that you look at, if you look at one, is like, okay, did I get any leads? You don't necessarily and the answer better be yes. But sometimes you don't get leads, and websites are expensive sometimes to build. And so when you're hiring someone to do that for you, before this is part of that marketing strategy. Before you hire someone, before you spend a dime on someone to build a website for you, you need to have gone through that, even at a high level, going through the process of looking at your strategy and how are you going to drive that traffic. Because we don't do marketing for fun just because, well, maybe I do, but we don't do marketing just for fun. We do marketing because we want to find out how we need to spend our marketing dollars to generate the most leads, the most results, and ultimately the most revenue. Okay. So we're not just doing it for no reason. But a lot of times it'll feel like you're just kind of throwing something up against the wall to see if it sticks, because rarely will a web developer that you reach out to do your website say to you, hey, what's your marketing strategy and what metrics are you going to check from this site? They may sell you some SEO, they may, some SEO, they may talk to you about keywords, but really, what are they doing for you on an ongoing basis to help you to monitor effectiveness? That's what you want to inquire about and understand a little bit about before you hire. Okay. So marketing matters. So now here's some questions that maybe so this is my paraphrase. If you can't measure it, it doesn't matter. For those last two images, the crystal paraphrase. But here's some example questions that you may have asked yourself, or maybe you haven't. Do you know the number of website visitors that you received in the last 30 days? Do you know what percentage of those people who came to your website became paying customers? Do you know the level of satisfaction that your customers, how the level of satisfaction has fluctuated over time? And do you know the precise average lifetime value of your customer? And or do you know how clients are rating your company? Now, keep in mind the purpose of this presentation is very high level, to kind of give you a guide of the big picture. Many of these, if you are a new entrepreneur, you're just starting out, a lot of these things, you're not going to worry about these right now, at least not at the level that they are available. You're going to pick off a few metrics. I'm going to identify like five top metrics. We're going to go through a list of 10 top ones, for startups, but then I'm breaking that down even further. And we're only going to talk about five today in a little bit more detail, just to help you narrow down the focus. And eventually you'll get to the bigger ones. Eventually you'll get to the top 10 list. Eventually you'll hire someone, you'll have the money, you'll pay thousands of dollars to a traditional marketing agency to do some of that for you. But in the meantime, you still need to have these tools in your toolbox so that you can be successful and get to that point. So a lot of these, like customer satisfaction, some of these are going to be really hard to do at the stage that you may be in your business right now. But know that just being aware that it's possible for you to measure that, it's going to give you a different frame of reference in managing your business going forward. Okay. Now, 10 top marketing metrics to master for first timers. Now, I got this from um, a woman named Amanda De Silvestro. And I felt like this was a really good, succinct list to give you a view of the possibilities of things that you may measure. And the reason that's helpful is that then you can have a conversation with a marketing professional or someone in that area and be familiar with the terms, right? So let's just go through them real quick. Web traffic. What kind of traffic are you having and where is it coming from? And a lot of these, actually, you can use Google Analytics to give you some of these, a lot of this information. Keyword ranking, social media reach and shares, cost of leads and lead generation, return on investment, returning visitors, customer acquisition cost, email performance and conversion rate, click through rate. You'll hear that a lot. Page views and landing page conversion rates, right? So these are all, this is kind of like the top 10. This is on the roadmap where you want to drive to, but you may not be ready for that right now. So just because you're not ready, just because you're not at a place in your business where you can do all of these, doesn't mean that you can't do some of these and still be better off in your business than you were before. So the green highlights are kind of what I would say the top five that you want to focus on for your business right now to help you to progress in the way that you would want to progress in your business. And just having that view will allow you to have conversations as you meet marketing people, to have conversations about these things. So when you get ready for them, have access to them, or you'll be able to select the right person for you. Okay. Now, first, website traffic. What kind and where? So you need to figure out what types of leads are worth investing and which ones are paying off and which ones aren't. So a lot of times you'll get, like, say you get web traffic. If you don't know where it comes from, you don't know where to put your dollars or what's working for you and what's not working for you. So for example, you could do some organic content, something that you just share yourself. Maybe you'll manufacture something. So you do a quick video to show someone a certain technique or how your business is different. And you post that video up on social media with a link to your website. Okay. At the same time, you have a marketing agency that's working for you, that's running paid ads, okay, to drive more traffic to your website. When we talk about web traffic, what kind and where it's from, you want to be able to distinguish, am I getting more traffic on my website because of that cool video that I did? It's more organic and people want to know more about what I do. Or am I getting more traffic on my website because of the work that my agency is doing with paid traffic? So you want to be able to understand that. Why? Because if you're getting more traffic based on the videos that you're doing in your business, or the education that you're sharing, the value that you're giving to people, then you're going to want to do more of that because that's what your people really want to see. Versus if you're getting more leads because of just the traffic, then you're going to save your time. Maybe instead of doing a daily video or a weekly video, maybe you'll do a monthly one because you still want to add value and provide that to your followers, but it's not really generating leads. So why waste your time, right? So some of the questions to ask yourself as it relates to web traffic: how much of your traffic is paid? And what is the return on investment? So we'll talk about return on investment a little bit later, but really that means if you spend 20 bucks on a Facebook ad, did you get anybody or not? Did anyone, come to your event or not? What's your return on that investment that you made into that advertising? How much traffic comes from organic searches? That means so basically, let's go back. So when we talk about organic traffic versus paid traffic, paid is straightforward. Organic should just say unpaid, right? That would make it simpler to understand. But organic traffic is just traffic that you get because somebody found a post that you put, or somebody read your article, somebody was referred. It's traffic that you generate without having to pay someone. That's basically what organic traffic is. So, how much traffic comes from social media? And is it because you're doing something new, like you're tweeting, or you're taking some other action, you're sharing a bunch of stuff, people find your content shareable? How is that traffic in social media getting to you? Again, why do we want to know that? Because you want to know what's working and what's not working, right? And then finally, how much traffic is generated through email? So you may have an email marketing campaign, or you may have an email that's just attached to, um, some content that you're generating. So it's good to know if your email campaign is working and generating leads for you or not. So that's what this is about. The next thing we're going to talk about is keyword ranking. So so a keyword is basically, it's just every social media platform has the ability to search. I shouldn't say every, but a keyword basically is the word that you use to search up something on the internet. So if you're looking for, a bikini and you search up bikini, if you're a bikini sell, if you have a bikini store and you don't have bikini in your keywords, guess what? No one's ever going to find you on the internet, right? So that's what a keyword is. So choosing appropriate keywords is one of the quickest and most valuable ways to get your business out in front of people. And also, more importantly, when I say out in front of people, ranked on the Googles, right? Like everyone, it's like Google is a verb now. Anytime somebody wants to find something out, they Google it, except for teens, because my teenagers, for them, TikTok is the new Google. They'll be like, I'll ask my son, like, do you know how to do such and such? He's like, no, I'll look it up on TikTok. So depending on what generation you're on, it's Google, and for younger generation, it's TikTok. But the point is, keywords help you to become visible. Otherwise, you're invisible. And the other thing is that if your keyword is ranking, that means that that particular type of content is very popular with people at the time. So you want to use keywords that are popular with the people who are your target audience, because that means that increases the chances of them finding your content and then valuing your content and becoming leads and customers. So, um, I'm just going to read this. A good way to figure out how well your content is performing is by monitoring the success or lack of your keywords. You can do this through Google Analytics by creating a custom search that will tell you how your content responds to different keywords. Very valuable and free. So, right? So, if you're not already using Google Analytics, go ahead and check that out. Next is, and I'm going to move along here because I don't want to run out of time like I did last week. So, social media reach and shares. This is probably the thing that you're most familiar with, right? Because everyone wants to be on social media and have the greatest number of follows or likes or shares, right? Mm. This is really, bar none, social media is really the easiest way to market and to get your business out there. Why? I think back a few years, like I don't know if you can think back beyond before social media, but if you think about it, if you've been in business any length of time, your marketing was flyers, postcards, um, maybe robo dials where you call people, and face to face, going to knock on people's doors, physically going to events and networking. So social media just opened up a whole new, you know, um, realm where you could reach tons and tons of people, not just in your local area, but local area and beyond. So social media definitely changed the game. So it's important for you to be leveraging it. Even if you have a business that's very locally based and locally focused, you can still benefit by using social media to stay connected with your customers, because the more you're in their, in their view, then they're going to, when they think of a need that you can fill, they'll come to you versus someone else. Okay. So When traffic stems, um, what you want to know about social media reach is whether the traffic stems from your action, something that you've done, you put out there, or the action of someone else. Knowing that will help you to figure out, again, like we talked about before, where do you want to put your time, right? Shares are particularly valuable. Why? Because when someone shares your content, when you make shareable content, that means that it is providing value that someone felt was um, valuable enough to share with someone else. So that's giving you extended reach. And it's a good way to know if your content is valuable and hey, people will be looking at it. Obviously, you want your social reach to extend as far as possible. So you want to try to determine which actions, words, and images resonate with your audience the most. Now, when we were doing last week, when we talked about, or and even the week before, when we talked about your target audience and a certain group of people. So, for example, if it's a baby boomer, maybe graphics, but they have kind of a hippie vibe, might draw in people. Maybe quotes or images that have some of the favorite people of that generation featured on it would draw someone's attention. I can tell you right now, if you sent me an image that had, you know, the Adams family or, Speed Racer, The Matrix, if you sent me something, or if I was scrolling through social media and I saw a post that had them on it, I'd at least stop and look, because those are things that are very familiar to me from when I was growing up. I used to watch the 4 o'clock movie. They had the 4 o'clock movie, and I would tell you that Elvis week on the 4 o'clock movie, I was home, my homework was done, and I was boom right there waiting on Elvis to come out and do his thing, right? So when you use content that resonates with people in social media, then that's another way to kind of draw in the person who fits your avatar, because a millennial is going to look at my, maybe they'll find the Adams family entertaining, but it won't be the emotional connection like, wow, I remember when I was growing up, I used to watch that show and it was so funny. And I just love the way Morticia did her little thing. And I love the way Morticia and Gomez used to go at it. Oh, that's awesome, right? So you want to make sure that your content is really kind of reaching out to the people you want to reach out to. Okay. How much am I doing for time? Okay. I've got like 5 minutes. How am I doing? Okay, costly. Oh, okay, two more. Okay, I'm gonna rush through it. So I'm just gonna read it. So the cost of leads and lead generation. So in addition to social media, the other thing you can look at is how much are your leads costing you, and what can you do to generate leads. So you want to pay attention to where your customers are coming from and what content is engaging them to visit your website. It's related to website content. Then you have to figure out how much you're spending on those leads to figure out what it's costing you and see how much more you want to spend. Now, that being said, ROI is a difficult thing to track. So it's directly linked to returning visitors. And the one thing you want to keep in mind is, and this was a great tip, is to only focus on one behavior at a time. So, for example, if you're looking for email signups as their metric, then look at email signups. If you're looking at purchases, look at purchases. But don't overwhelm yourself with trying to look at everything to see if something is working. Identify one metric for the action or the activity that you're doing to generate leads, the marketing activity. Identify one behavior that you are seeking to drive and just track that, because otherwise it can be overwhelming. Quite frankly, I've been there, to try and look at everything at once. It's just too difficult. So if you focus on one customer action and kind of turning the dial, tweaking, dialing that in, then you can move on to other things. But just focus on one at a time. And then next, return on investment. Literally, your success or failure of your business is lying right here on return on investment. Because what is it? It says, I spent this much money to make money. And did I make money on that spend, or did I not make money on that spend? If not, why not? But if I'm not making money, then Why am I in business, right? So if you don't understand your ROI metrics, you're going to waste a whole bunch of money. And I was talking to a marketing consulting firm the other day, and um, what the guy said is that there's so many bad marketing agencies out there that people will go out and do some marketing activity on their own, like paid leads, like um, different social media things. They'll go out and do something on their own, throw something on the wall to see if it sticks, because it's better than just throwing your money away with some agency that hasn't helped you at all, right? So it's important to understand what those metrics are. And I found this louder online suggestion on measuring metrics really valuable. And so I pulled it out on a separate slide. So louder online suggests measuring the cost per piece of content. So you could either create your own content or you could pay someone else to create your content. If you create your own content, it's still a matter of, it still has a cost. It's not free when you create it yourself, because the cost is opportunity cost for what you could have been doing while you were creating that content. So even though it might seem like you can create your own content and it's fine, depending on how much value you can add to your business doing other activities, it might be worth outsourcing. Now, I don't, my agency, Get Crystalized Agency, doesn't do um, content creation, but I do have partners that I can work with to help you with content creation if that's something that you want to invest in. So, cost per piece of content, the website traffic it produces. Okay. So, you want to have tracking on your pieces so that you can identify how much of that traffic comes. Now, again, Google Analytics is free. It's an option for you to explore to look at determining where web traffic comes from. The leads generated. Okay, so you created some content, you put it out there. How many leads did you get from that content that you created? Was it good content or not? Now, at first, this is gonna seem so overwhelming, because quite honestly, I've created a lot of content of which some of it didn't get any feedback whatsoever, right? It happens. Sometimes you hit a home run, sometimes you just get to first base. Sometimes you go back to home plate. You got to hit again. The process is more about the process and understanding more and learning as you go. And then finally is how much each visitor in your site is worth in terms of potential sales. So if you have multiple sites, what were they looking at? Were they looking at kind of your consulting services and making a determination that about that product, or were they looking at something else? So um, that has more value to you as a business product or service that you offer. You want to look at that as well. And then so that's kind of what I wanted to cover today with these um, top five marketing metrics. Again, there's tons of metrics, but you need to manage your time, right? You're busy as an entrepreneur. We are so busy. There's never a day that is just a regular day, or rarely. It's just a regular day where everything goes exactly the way you wanted it to, right? There's never a day like that. So anything you can do to save you money, save you time, help you to promote your business, your product or service in a way that you can find your true avatar, your customer avatar, it's going to be worth the time and the money, right? So, with that, I'm going to wrap up a little bit early, actually. But listen, feel free to reach out to me. Um, my name is Crystal Cotton, your host here, again with Get Crystalized Agency, where we make marketing simple for you. And so, if you text the word marketing to 248-919-5444, you can learn more about uh, the Get Crystallized Agency, as well as the services that we offer. You can also go to my website at getcrystallizednow.com, where you can get more information there as well. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that the Social Media Saturday series has been valuable for you. I hope you have learned something, even if it's just one new term. Go ahead and send me a comment. Let me know if this was valuable for you. And I'm going to keep cranking out content on Social Media Saturday, because as an entrepreneur, there were so many times where I just did not know what I didn't know, and I wasted a lot of money. And I guess maybe I shouldn't say wasted. Maybe I should say I invested in my education. A lot of the old school people call that bought sense. Okay. So I don't want to buy, I don't want to have more bought sense. I don't put it this way. I don't want you to have to invest in bought sense like I did. So I'm sharing the information that has helped me in the hopes that it will help you. So definitely do share. Come back on Saturdays at noon, and kick it with me here as we talk about marketing and social media marketing in particular. This is Crystal Cotton. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time on Social Media Saturday with Get Crystalized Agency. Bye for now.